Hello everyone. I hope you all are good and you all are practicing questions. This question I received from Sivendra and this is a very beautiful one I would say. One on this we have already done. In that case we calculated how much time these particles will take to meet each other. And here we have to do a bit different thing. We will first read the question. ठीक है? So हमारे पास question में ये कह रहा है we have equilateral triangle sort of thing and on the vertices of and this equilateral triangle is not something fixed, we can say. We will read it from the question. Particle A is here, B is here and C is here. Okay, A is headed towards B, B is headed towards C and C is headed towards A. Done hai? So in the question it is said that A will always head towards B, B will always towards C and C always head towards A. This has to be maintained. ठीक है, and finally they are meeting at certain point. Find out the angle by which line connecting A and B rotates with respect to its original orientation in a space by the time distance between A and B reduces to half. So सबसे पहले हमें ये समझना है कि A और B के along distance क्यों घटेगा. आप यहाँ पे ध्यान से देखो, B has, at this first of all let us crack this one. ठीक है, this thing such that A always heads towards B, B towards C, C towards A. इस क्वेश्चन में बच्चों का जनरल कंफ्यूजन ये होता है, दे एंड अप थिंकिंग कि A इस लाइन के अलोंग ऐसे मूव करता रहेगा, B इस लाइन के अलोंग ऐसे मूव करता रहेगा एंड C ऐसे. ये गलत है, ऐसा नहीं होगा क्योंकि A को हमेशा B की तरफ हेड करना है. ठीक है, एंड दिस इज नॉट पॉसिबल इफ इट इज मूविंग लाइक दिस, क्योंकि आप देखो जब ए इधर यहाँ पे अगर ऐसे चल रहा है तो बी समवेयर इज हियर. नाउ वेलोसिटी ऑफ ए इज नॉट हेडेड टुवर्ड्स बी, उसके लिए ए की वेलोसिटी इस टाइम पे इधर होनी चाहिए थी in order to be headed towards B, right? So this is wrong. हमें क्या सोचना होगा, हमें कुछ ऐसा सोचना है. देखो, initially particle is here, right? B is here and C is here. Let's say in a small time dt, because of velocity in this direction, A moved in here, B moved in here, C moved in here. Okay? And A here will head towards B and B here will heads towards C and C here will heads towards A. So basically when you will combine again their positions like this, you will find one thing, that their velocities are still headed towards each other. So basically, A is not going to move along this line in the space. डन है, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू हैपन. सो ये देखो कुछ ऐसा हुआ क्योंकि दे हैव टू हेड टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर, उसके लिए दे नीड टू मूव समथिंग लाइक दिस. अगेन आफ्टर सर्टेन टाइम, सपोज कर लो बिकॉज ऑफ वेलोसिटी अलोंग दिस लाइन इट हैज मूव्ड अप टू हियर एंड बी हैज मूव्ड अप टू हियर एंड सी हैज मूव्ड अप टू हियर. अगेन you combine their positions and now their velocities will be directed along this line, this along this line, and sorry, B along this line, sorry, and C has to head towards A along this line. ठीक है, so it will look like this. आपको क्या लग रहा है A B C का ट्रेजेक्ट्री कैसा दिख रहा है, कैसा होने वाला है ट्रेजेक्ट्री? सो B कुछ ऐसे जाएगा, ठीक है, B कुछ ऐसे मूव करेगा एंड A will move something like this and C will move something like this. So it is going to be along this curved line. So मोशन कुछ B का ऐसा मोशन होगा, ऐसा, एंड A का मोशन कैसा होने वाला है, ऐसा, एंड C का मोशन इज गोइंग टू बी समवॉट ऐसा. So along this curved line they are going to move and finally they will meet somewhere here such that एट एनी इंस्टेंट देखो ए का पोजीशन कहाँ कहाँ होगा, यहाँ 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 ऐसे. सिमिलरली बी का ऐसा होगा. इनिशियली एट टी इक्वल टू जीरो देयर पोजिशंस वर एट द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट एंड जब उनको जोड़ा यू गॉट एन इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल. ठीक है, ऐसा. फाइनली एट एनी इंस्टेंट ऑल्सो इफ यू कंबाइन, ये थोड़ा सा कंबाइन नहीं कर पा रही मैं, बट ठीक है, तुम्हें क्या मिलेगा, हर हर टाइम पे इक्विलेटरल ट्रायंगल ही मिलेगा. ठीक है, एंड फाइनली दे विल मीट हियर बिकॉज ऑफ द सिमेट्री, दे विल मीट एट द सेंट्रोइड. सिमेट्री कहने का मतलब तीनों का ही स्पीड सेम है, राइट? एंड तीनों ही दे आर हेडेड टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर. सो दे आर गोइंग टू मीट एट द सेंट्रोइड। वो आप ऐसे भी डिटरमिन कर सकते हो, जैसे एट दिस इंस्टेंट व्हेन ए इज हियर, बी इज हियर, सी इज हियर, कैलकुलेट relative velocity of b with respect to a. So vb minus va you will do, vb is along this line, va is along this line, so vb minus va करोगे इधर, है ना, इन दोनों का रिजल्टेंट किधर जाएगा, इधर, and this will be 30 degree angle because both have a speed same, so their resultant will bisect the angle, right? So it is going along this line which will meet, which will I mean hit centroid at certain distance, right? So basically b is going to meet a at the centroid, c will also meet what a at the centroid, sort of thing. So all three are going to meet at this point, ठीक है? नाउ व्हाट वी हैव टू डू हियर, यहाँ पे हमें ये बताना है कि ए एंड बी कितने एंगल से रोटेट करेगा along taking this as the reference line. So if you are taking this as the reference line, by what angle this separation thing must have changed by the time separation length become L by 2. आप ध्यान से देखो, initially separation ये था, let's say this was L by 2. At certain instant I have drawn it like this, later on I have drawn it like this. ये तीनों parallel दिख रहे हैं क्या? नहीं दिख रहे. So basically क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, initially separation was this, somewhere separation has been like this, so some angle thing is coming into account, rotation हो रहा है इस separation का along this reference line, ठीक है, taking this as the reference line where initial separation was what, L. So rotation is happening. अब ये rotation को आप justify कैसे कर सकते हो? और भी आप देखो ध्यान से, सबसे पहले B और A पे ही हमें focus करना है क्योंकि हमें question में उसी के लिए पूछ रहा है. Though answer will be same if it is even asked for B and C और A whatever, ठीक है? So we have to talk about कि A and B का जो connecting line है, find out angle by which connecting line A and B rotates with respect to initial orientation in space by the time distance between A and B reduces to half. So initial orientation क्या है? Initial position जो भी आपने लिया है, so यही है ना initial orientation. इसके along AB का आई मीन आफ्टर सर्टेन टाइम ए यहाँ है, बी यहाँ है, सो ए बी अब ये है ना, आफ्टर सर्टेन टाइम ए इज हियर, बी इज हियर, सो ए बी इज हियर. सो यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट along this reference line, AB has moved by what angle by the time separation become L by 2. सो देखो ए एंड बी को फोकस करो आप, हमें relative velocity किधर मिला, इधर, ठीक है? So this was VBA, velocity of B with respect to A. Now this velocity will have two component, one perpendicular and another along this line, ठीक है? And VBA का magnitude क्या है? अगर आप magnitude निकालो, you will be getting how much? V square plus V square plus 2V cos 60, है ना? क्योंकि VB minus VA के बीच का एंगल क्या है? 60 डिग्री है. So this is root 3V. So this is your root 3V. Now root 3V, this angle being 30 degree and this line is perpendicular to AB, that is initial orientation of AB. So इसको थोड़ा सा ideal बनाती हूँ ऐसा, ठीक है? So this is 30 and this will become how much? This is also 30, this whole is 90, so this has to be how much? 60. ठीक है, क्योंकि देखो ये होल तुम्हारा क्या था 90 एंड दिस इज 30, सो 90 माइनस 30 विल बिकम हाउ मच 60. सो कंपोनेंट अलोंग दिस लाइन विल बी इक्वल टू रूट 3v इंटू कॉस 30, दैट इज रूट 3 बाई 2 एंड दिस विल बिकम रूट 3v इंटू हाफ, ठीक है? सो दिस इज दिस. So this particle at point A has velocity along line AB. Because of this, separation between A and B will decrease, and also this particle A, relative velocity, has component which is perpendicular to line AB, and whenever particle has a velocity perpendicular to certain direction orientation, then that will make that orientation rotate, ठीक है? जैसे आप सिंपल सी चीज समझ लो, यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट है, लेट्स से दिस वी आर टेकिंग एज द रेफरेंस पॉइंट, ठीक है? एंड इस रेफरेंस पॉइंट से हमने एक लाइन बनाया ऐसा, दिस इज O, दिस इज A. Initially particle is at A, it has velocity in this direction. So what will be the angular velocity along point A? एंड वाई वी आर डिफाइनिंग एंगुलर वेलोसिटी, क्योंकि आप देखो ए पार्टिकल ऐसे जा रहा है, ऐसे जा रहा है, ठीक है? एट दिस पॉइंट इट इज हियर, एट एनी अदर पॉइंट अगर आप इसका पोजीशन वेक्टर निकालो ए पॉइंट का विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू ओ, you will draw it like this, then you will draw it like this, so you can check this angle is changing, ठीक है? So it is traversing certain angle, right? So we can define its angular velocity along this point O, and angular velocity will be equal to how much? V divided by this perpendicular distance, that is your, let's say this is r, so b by r. Similarly here, velocity of b with respect to a we are defining, so a for that instant we are taking at rest, then we are getting vba in this sense. It has one component which is perpendicular to line this one, and so angular velocity we can define of this relative thing, and that angular velocity will be equal to root 3v by 2 divided by this distance, and this distance is equal to how much? L. ठीक है, सो ये एल होगा, डन है. दिस इज द एंगुलर वेलोसिटी. एंड एट एनी इंस्टेंट इफ यू ड्रॉ ना, अगर आप कोई भी इंस्टेंट पे ओमेगा निकालोगे, आई मीन व्हाट यू विल बी गेटिंग इन दैट केस ऑल्सो. सपोज कर लो तुमने यहाँ पे निकालने की कोशिश करी, लेट मी ड्रॉ द अनदर डायग्राम. सो सपोज कर लो यहाँ पे ये पार्टिकल का इनिशियल ऐसा सिचुएशन था, ठीक है. इनिशियली दिस वाज एल, एंड एट सर्टेन अदर टाइम, लेट्स अगेन ड्रॉ द ट्रायंगल. सपोज कर लो इस टाइम पे मैंने बनाना है, ठीक है. सो हियर ऑल्सो अगेन relative velocity of a with respect to, sorry, this was your b, right? So relative velocity of b with respect to a again will be in this direction, ठीक है. So it will be in this direction, again it will direct towards the center, but let's not focus on that one. And this will have again two component, one perpendicular to this separation thing, and another which will be along this separation thing. So along the separation अभी भी component same ही होगा, क्योंकि देखो अभी भी this v a का magnitude is v and v b का magnitude is v. Still this angle is 60 degree, ठीक है. So v b a is still root 3v, ठीक है. But yeah, separation has decreased, right? So omega at any point of time can be written as VBA perpendicular component, that will be same as before. ठीक है, कितना आया था हमारा? root 3v by 2. It will remain same, root 3v by 2, and this time separation is L, then you will write it as this thing. ठीक है, done है. So this is omega, and this can be written as what? d theta by dt. Clear है? So this is d theta by dt, and if you have to talk about again one more equation you can write, dl by d minus dl by dt. This separation thing is decreasing, and since dl is negative, to make this rate positive I have given negative sign, and this will be equal to what? This will be equal to rate at which this separation is decreasing, and that will be equal to relative velocity of b with respect to a along this separation line, ठीक है, and that is equal to 3v by 2 as we have got before. This was how much? Root 3v into root 3 by 2, so this is 3v by 2. Done है? So this is this. Now by using these two equation we can calculate the value of theta when this L has become how much? L by 2. Initially was capital L, finally it is becoming L by 2. Then we have to calculate by what angle it has rotated with respect to the initial reference line. ठीक है. सो चलो इस चीज को हम सॉल्व करते हैं. अगर आप इसको सॉल्व करोगे आप क्या लिखोगे? सबसे पहले माइनस डी एल विल बी इक्वल टू 3v बाई 2 dt, ठीक है. सो सॉर्ट ऑफ dt को आप लिख सकते हो -2dl by 3v. This is one thing, and then there was another thing, d theta by dt was equal to how much? root 3v by 2l. ठीक है. सो आप इसको लिख लो. if you do this, I mean if you do this here, dt का वैल्यू आप यहाँ से पुट कर दो, d theta by -2dl into 3v is equal to root 3v by 2l. So v will get cancelled, and this root 3 will get cancelled with this way, and d theta is equal to how much? This 2 will get cancelled, so root 3 d theta is equal to minus of dl by l. Now introduce the integration, so 0 se theta, and this will become how much? L se l by 2. So root 3 theta is equal to minus ln, and limit you put ln l by 2 minus ln l. ln a minus ln b क्या होता है? ln a by b. You put that there. So this will become minus ln l by 2 divided by l. So ln half और एल एन हाफ को आप क्या लिख सकते हो, माइनस एल एन टू, सो माइनस माइनस प्लस, दिस इज एल एन टू रूट थ्री थीटा, सो थीटा इज इक्वल टू हाउ मच, 1 by root 3 ln 2. So this is the answer you're going to get. I hope you have understood this question, but I would again say you really need to sit with this question and think around it a lot, because that will enhance your concept and that will enhance your thinking ability, and also that will make your grasp more stronger on this question. Alone watching this video, I know, is not going to help. You sitting with the question is going to be more beneficial once you have watched this video. I hope it will help. Thank you for this one, and keep on solving more number of questions. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.